Getting a cat out of the shelter and into a foster home is a super exciting time. But before you do that, there's a few things you want to consider. First of all, cats are super sensitive to change, so you want to think about where that cat's going to be and what's the best place that that cat's going to feel safe. Second of all, you want to think about where that space is going to be. Make sure there's not a lot of traffic. You want to make sure that they're not going to be too overwhelmed in that space. The last thing you want to think about is the other animals in the home. You want to make sure that you keep them separate from the foster cat and deal with introductions later. So for choosing the right space, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, since almost anything is better than the shelter cage. Things that work well are bathrooms, walk-in closets, or maybe offices and secondary bedrooms that aren't used that much. You should generally avoid laundry rooms and kitchens, since cats can wedge themselves behind appliances a lot more easily than you think. It's important to realize how often the room gets used and whether the cat will get some quiet time. For a cat who is fearful, a nice quiet space is really important. Before letting the cat out of the carrier, make sure that all the windows in the home are closed. You're going to want to remove any items in the environment that are unsafe to cats. Paper clips, hair ties, any loose wires, things that are breakable off shelves. You're also going to want to make sure that the plants in your home are non-poisonous. A lot of foster organizations will provide you with all of the foster supplies, but check with that organization and see what they will supply you and what you'll need to supply yourself. The basic supplies that you'll need are a litter box, a litter scoop, and litter. You'll also want to supply dry food, wet food, enough bowls for each individual cat if you're fostering more than one cat. Toys are a great way of helping cats feel safe in their new environment. Some toys are for cats to play by themselves, and some toys are for you to engage with the cat. They don't always have to be store-bought. They can be homemade. A paper bag or even a cardboard box can be very entertaining for a cat when they're home alone. Scratching is an instinctive behavior in cats, so providing alternatives for scratching is important if you don't want them to scratch your furniture or your bedding. Some cats like to scratch vertically, and some cats like to scratch horizontally. When you bring a foster cat into a new home, some cats might be confident and come out of the carrier and just start investigating right away. Other cats will be a little less confident and may want to hide, so you want to provide some safe hiding spaces for them. Some cats will hide under a bed. You can put a blanket over a chair or a table. Sometimes you can create a little fort and a safe space in your closet. That works too. As long as they feel safe, they can hide and you have access to them. That's what's most important. When you're setting up a foster room, you want to make sure that the litter and food are close enough that the cat doesn't have to take big risks to get to them, but you do want them at least 3 feet apart. Everybody's situation is going to be a little bit different, so you just have to make the best of what you can in that space for the cat. When you bring a cat into a new space, you want to have a calm and quiet environment. You want to speak in low voices so the cat isn't too alarmed. When you bring the carrier in, you want to orient it towards the space that you think the cat might go instinctually. Slowly open the carrier and let the cat come out in its own pace. You never want to pull the cat right out of the carrier. The time it takes a cat to settle into a new foster home may vary. Some cats are more confident and will settle right away, whereas others are more shy and it could take up to weeks or months for them to settle in. When fostering a shy cat, it's a good idea to give the cat some time and space without you for a little bit. Even when you go back in the room to join the cat, it's good to do some passive things like reading a book or working on your computer. That way you're in the room with the cat, but not making the cat the center of attention. When a cat first comes from the shelter, they often need time to decompress or catch up on some sleep. Some of the behaviors that you might see are crying at night, being more active at night, and sleeping during the day. Also, don't be surprised if the cat doesn't eat or use the litter box for the first 24 to 48 hours. Those are all perfectly normal behaviors. When a cat finally settles in, those things usually go away. When trying to figure out whether or not the foster cat is ready for more, Think about behavior, not time. What could take one cat 2 days could take another cat 2 weeks or 2 months. You want to look at how they're acting in the room. Are they using the litter box? Are they eating? Are they able to walk around the room confidently when you're in the space with them? If they're not and they're still hiding, then the cat definitely needs more time to acclimate. Fostering truly does save lives. Although it may not seem like a big deal, you are giving that cat a gift when you take it out of the shelter. You are being the bridge from the shelter to that cat's permanent home. Thank you so much for fostering.